Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Hunted Podcast. If you're listening to this, make sure you go back and listen to our other episodes that we got going on Spotify and Apple Podcast. While you're there, give us a 5-star rating, all that good stuff. If you like what we got going on, we greatly appreciate it. Also, while you're doing us a favor, go through and check out and see what me and Levi are up to on our Facebook at The Hunted Podcast, our Instagram at The Hunted Podcast, and our YouTube, The Hunted Podcast. We should be pretty easy for you guys to find. We try to make everything about the same. We're going to breeze through our sponsors here real quick because we got two special guests in here, and we want to get straight to the bullshit and have a good time, bring the entertainment to you guys. So, as always, we're going to start off with Rec Broadheads. They're definitely thinking outside the box with what they got going on. Make sure you go through and check out their stuff. Before you know it, man, it's going to be deer season. So make sure you go through, get your orders in, all that good stuff, and start shooting your bows and your arrows and get them all flying true and all that good stuff. Like I said, deer season be here right before you know it. Also, we got Wild Oak Buck Lure. Go through, check them out. Man, he's a local guy. Corey is like the same thing I say all the time, man. This guy knows his stuff about buck pee, which is probably one of the weirdest things that I keep saying about somebody over and over and over. But yeah, go through, go check him out. He's on Facebook. Go through. If you buy something from him, just like all the other ones, let him know that you heard it from us. Go through it. Helps us out and all that good stuff. Dominant Strands of Bowstrings. Levi and I got ours redone last year, dude. They're loving them. Lewis is an awesome guy. He'll pick up the phone anytime we call him, see what's going on with these strings, ideas, and stuff like this. Dude's super good guy. Go check him out. Nothing fancy to him, but he's a hardworking man. He's always to something. And then ECW hunting calls. Me and Levi put those to work a little bit this year. I definitely didn't get anything out of it. But they definitely responded back. They just didn't come in close enough for me to do it. But Levi went out, and I think he used it for about 14 seconds and killed him a big bird right off the roost. It was awesome. If you haven't seen that, go through and check us out on there. You got pictures on there about his bird and all that good fun stuff. And then Marath Welding. Yeah, you need anything welded onto anything, go through, go check him out. He travels a good distance if need be. He's a hell of a welder, and he's a hell of a guy, and he'll do anything he can to help you out and get you all squared away. He's actually going to be doing some stuff here for me and Levi, hopefully here too long. He's going to be fabricating some stuff for our food plots when we start going through and getting plots ready and all that good stuff, because like I said before, deer season is going to be here before too long. National Land Realty. If you're ever interested in, looking at some properties and things like that, contact them, contact Levi. They'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction, help you all out. Even if it's just some basic questions on maybe what you can afford, where you're looking at, just put something in their ear and ask some questions. Most definitely go through and give them a like on Facebook and check them out. And then last but not least, Nature Made Jewelry. This is what Levi and his wife Kate do. They go through and take those and make jewelry and all that good stuff. Make sure you go hit them up and get you some jewelry and all that good stuff. Mother's Day is not too far away, but don't need a special day to go through and, buy a good little piece of jewelry for that special someone. Oh, man, that's a bunch. So, okay. But if you haven't, check them out on social media. Make sure you go through and check them out. Let them know that you heard them from us. That helps keep our sponsors happy and helps, let them know that we are, pushing their stuff and letting people know about it and all the great stuff that they are. Side note, if you're just listening to this one, pretty much all of them are in some way, shape, or form either ran by veterans, or they give like veteran discounts, first responder discounts, things like that. They are very down-to-earth people, great, wonderful people. And that takes me into my next segment we're going to go through and give our shout-outs and all that good stuff to first responders. I kind of thought this would take off a little bit more, but we really haven't had anybody that's going through emailing us and letting us know, or messaging us and things like that, to give thanks to first responder, military personnel, anything like that. It can be people. We don't care if they've passed away, if they're active right now, if they're a police officer, fireman. We don't care. It's these people that are keeping our crazy world safe right now. We actually just got done talking about some stories. We live, as they say, in BFE, and things are starting to get a little crazy even in our neck of the woods. And without law enforcement, fire, and everybody else around here, like it's things could go up in flames here real quick. So with that being said, if you have anybody you want to say thank you to, please go ahead and message us, send us an email, and we'll put them on here and say thank you. But like I said, nobody did, so we're just going to have a moment of silence for first responders that have passed, military personnel that has passed. So just give us a few seconds, and we'll be back. All right, wonderful. One more time, if you're listening to this and you have a thank you want to go through to a first responder, military, let us know. If you're listening to this and you are any type of first responder or military, anything like that, I'm sure I can speak for all four of us here. Like we humbly, from the bottom of our hearts, say thank you very much. So, all right. Some of these times, we're going to have to make you go through and do some of these.
I was going to add on there, if you haven't listened to the Hex episode,
absolutely,
go back and listen to that, because there is a special little goodie on there for all of our listeners. So
yes, and it's one of those things to where I know everybody says this all the time, but like we aren't just like trying to push product onto people. Like it's stuff to where we believe in these people, we believe in their product. And I know me and Levi have talked about this in a couple episodes, but man, we went through and used these Hex suits, and it's crazy. And I can't wait to. I guess I should say who we got here, man. We got Chris on here. He was on one of our episodes, which is actually, we really don't like him too much, but it was one of our episodes that had the most listens or streams or whatever you want to call it. So we brought him back to try to get our numbers back up. And then his chauffeur Bret over here brought him along. We do like Bret. But he does like what a real man does. He's always working. He's not like Chris over here, just always hunting and drinking beer all day. So, but no, we're going to get into it. But I think we should just jump right into the Hex thing since we're talking about this. Yeah. I mean, I know you guys. I don't know if have either of you guys watched like any of their Hex episodes and stuff like this?
Oh yeah, for sure. Bunch of it,
dude. I'm telling you, like it is 100% go through. And get you something like you absolutely will not regret it. It was
like the last one they just posted, shooting turkeys with a bow
yes.
with an orange vest on, pretty much in the wide open.
Yes, insane.
But, yeah,
I mean it's absolutely insane. And then they switched.
Yeah, they switched, and like 30 minutes later, called another one in and killed him.
Yeah, did you guys see that one by chance?
No, nope.
Dude, and I mean it's one of those things too. Is excuse me, and like I said, they're sitting in the wide open, and Mike, he's not a little man either. I mean, he's sitting out. I mean, he's standing out. Like you can 1,000% see him. And these birds come in and come right to him, and he shoots the one. They switched it up, like Levi said. Here comes another one. I mean, they're changing, they're moving and stuff. It is absolutely incredible. I would say, go through, kiss up to the wife a little bit, mow the yard one more time, do a couple of dishes, and go through and definitely look into getting those.
Yeah,
and
if you were skeptical before, I mean, it'll just blow your mind.
It absolutely will. And I don't know how long it is, but I'm sure it'll be for a good little while. He went through and gave us a discount code too, so you can get a little cheaper for you.
Absolutely.
But, I mean,
awesome.
it's one of those things. Oh my goodness, who was it? That told us that saying we were busting his balls about buying Sitka. Oh, buy once, cry once.
Yeah.
One of those things.
Yeah, Aaron.
Yes, Aaron, yeah. When he goes through and you go through and spend the cash on it, dude, it's completely worth it. I'm excited to see, like, how it's going to help, like, during deer season.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when we went, your dad told me that crazy story about how, like, that, was it a doe or a fawn?
I think it was a doe.
That walked that fence line and
came right to him, like, damn near touched him.
Yeah, he said, like, breathing on his face, nose to nose.
Yeah, he tells me crazy stories all the time, and I just always shrug it off. Oh, you and your damn voodoo suit,
yeah.
blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm sold now.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, well, we'll jump right into this. Chris, you just got a bird a few days ago? You and your boy?
Yeah, my
Opening
boy
day
shot
of
one
fifth.
Thursday, and I shot one Friday morning.
Right.
So, I was jumping into fifth season, which is by far my favorite because you got more foliage, more ways to sneak them, get into them, and
I'm just gonna, since you say that, is that mostly because of the forage and stuff? Because the reason I'm asking is because a lot of people say they don't like fifth season because these birds have been hunted so much and they're like decoys.
oh no, it for us. I mean, we knock shit out of birds fifth season every year. So for one, the hens are all bred, they're nesting. Them gobblers are still looking, and number two, you can sneak in and get to a lot tighter spots. Birds come out of the roost. If you know your property, you can get in, sneak from point A to point B. And so that's what we've done a lot through the years in fifth season. But like Thursday morning, making it quick, my boy, we went in, our birds came out of the roost. We were hoping they were going to come south. They went north. So then after that, I was like, well, so we might as well head out, because I said them birds are gone. So we went back, jumped in the truck, headed back past my shop, and we're going to go on the east side of the property, and got just north of my shop in the field there. I looked out, and there was 3 strutters, some jakes, and some hens in the field. We went down the bottom, parked, got out, I know this piece of property like the back of my hand, came up the hill, shot out on this trail, got up, there's a bulldoze pile there. We crawled the last 40 yards, got to the bulldoze pile, and I peeked my head over, and there was birds right there.
That's awesome.
So I told my boy, I said, they're right here. He goes, how close? I said, like, really close, super close. Like, he goes, okay. I said, so you just need to sit up on your knees and just get your gun ready, and they're right there. So he sat up, and it was like that. Yes, not calling them in, but we snuck them and
Get them how you can get them.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Especially this year.
yeah. So we seen the birds at 6:15. He shot that bird at 6:30. We were done. And then Friday, I haven't told you guys the story yet because I wanted to save it for this, but
Oh, special.
it's a good one. Friday, I bumped my birds off the roost, the same birds we hunted the morning before, and I tried to get a little too aggressive. I bumped them. I left the farm, went south of town to another farm I got. Haven't hunted it much this year. And I wasn't even really planning on hunting. I was going to walk in, call a little bit. If I got a response, I was going to stay. Well, as I get out of my truck, wasn't going to grab my gun. I was going to walk down a little bit, call. I heard a gobble way south, but knowing how the birds work on this farm, Bret's been there with me several times. I was like, man, I'm just going to go in. So as I'm walking down the hill, he is through a bottom, up the top of a ridge, and down in the next bottom is where he's at. But they'll usually work up and then head north. So I started cutting a little bit, and he was just hammering. And by the time I got into the bottom, he gobbled, and I'm like, man, he's already close. And I looked up, it's a big slanting bean field, and he come out of the ridge, and he popped into that field. I watched him come out in the field. So I'm like, I can't even get to where I want to get to. So I just threw hen decoys out and just sat right there. And, he's 250 yards away still, but comes down right out of the gate, gets 80 yards. There's a hedgerow that splits the 2 fields. And there are some gaps in the hedge, and some of it's got a bunch of shit growed up around it, green stuff. So I sat there and watched him gobble, strut. I'm in an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. I'm like, I know what's going to happen. He came this far. He can see them decoys. He's gonna take off and go the other way. He's going to drift off and be like, hell with it, I came this far. You're going to come to me. And so I was like, man, I'm going to have to sneak him. My only choice. So got down. There's probably, I don't know, the grass is probably 10 or 12 inches, but I was like, just crawl a little bit, and when he's behind the shit, and then if I can see his fan, so I crawl and just kept my binos in my face. And if I start seeing his fan through the stuff, I just lay there. It probably took me a couple minutes to crawl 50 yards, and then I was at 30 yards, and I purred and clucked with my man's
I was
call.
going to ask you.
I use all turkey season. I use his calls all turkey season. Love him.
He's talking about Levi's pod.
Levi's
hunted
calls he
podcast
made me.
calls.
So I purred and clucked, and he turned the corner and was like, man, she's coming. And that was it. 30 yards. I shot him, ran out, grabbed him, brought him into the field, carried him 40 yards. I was getting my ass whooped.
You get so passionate and you start bumping stuff.
I was getting my ass kicked by this turkey, so I put him back down, and I didn't want to shoot him again, and I didn't want to do the old neck spin on him because of this mount that I'm doing is I didn't want to mess anything up. So I let him lay there for a little bit, and I was standing on him and called my wife, said, yeah, I finally got him, after an hour and 45 minutes. And so I pick him back up by his feet now, and he's done, I thought. Carried him another 30 yards, set him by my backpack, my gun. My boy's blowing my phone up, answering my phone. He's like, you got him? I'm like, yeah, dude. I said, I got him. And I'm talking to him on the phone, telling him the story, and all of a sudden I hear, and I turn around and look, and I ain't shitting you. He got off and ran away. The honest to God truth. And I talked to Bret too. Yep. He got up and ran away.
Like you didn't get him at all. Like he's gone.
No, he's gone. I mean, like he literally stood up. I told Kate, I said, dude, I got to go. He just got up. He's like, what? I said, I got to go. And I just threw my phone. Never even hung up or nothing. And I took off running, and it's all multiple rows and gooseberry bushes, thicker and shit. And the first 10 yards, I lose him. I mean, he's gone. He gets into that shit, and I'm like, oh, my God. I just sent a Snapchat of my wife and my boy, him flopping on the ground, and talked to my wife, and then I'm like, how the hell I explained it? Yeah, I lost him. Yeah, he ran off after I carried him 70 yards. And so I go back. I'm like, and I didn't look anymore. I went back, grabbed my gun, and my phone was ringing, vibrating. I picked it up as my boy. He's like, did you find him? I'm like, dude, I can't find him. I said, I ain't looked that much. So I came back to get my gun. I went in, started looking and digging through multiple rows, and I opened up a bush, and he was sitting in there. He was laying down, but his head was up, and he was looking around. I'm like, oh, my God. So I just back up like 5 yards and got down to where I could, and I shot into it and ended up killing him. And that Snapchat I sent you guys, that's where I dug him out of that bush when I sent that Snapchat. So I've watched so many TikToks and YouTube videos of guys losing birds when they put them in their truck, or birds that they carry back, and next thing you know, they fly off. I've been on a lot of hunts and seen a lot of birds get killed, but it's for real.
Yeah.
Make sure them suckers are dead, because that thing, it ran over 20 yards. And my hands, from carrying them, I mean, my hands are bloodier than hell. So, I mean, yeah, make sure that they're dead.
Need to carry a zip tie, put it around that neck, and just
crazy.
Dude, that's nuts.
I should have just shot him again. Well, and then Cade's like, my boy, he's like, dude, that's why I shot that bird again, because I was so confused that the day he shot his, the day before, he shoots a bird. I mean, it hits the ground, starts doing the turkey flop, and he runs out there and gets like 5 feet away, boom, shoots again. I'm like, why'd you shoot again? He's like, that's why I shot again, dude.
You never heard of the zombie bird, Dad?
Yeah. He goes, man, I'm making sure that thing's dead. So, yeah, I'm going to say I almost lost him, but he did get up and run away.
Dude, that's crazy. Because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've seen those on like TikTok and the internet and stuff like that too. And I'm like, bullshit.
No.
We're doing this to just try to get some views. And
I called Bret, and I was all winded and shit. And he's like, what's going on? I told him, I said, dude, you can't believe that bird got up and ran away. I said, literally ran away after I carried him back. He's like, what? And I said, I swear to God. Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Never seen it happen before, but
Dude, yeah, that's nuts.
yeah, it's crazy.
I feel your pain. I almost lost the biggest spurred turkey I've ever killed. And I didn't know it at the time. It was my third turkey I ever killed. Dad and I are sitting on this ridge top. He works right over to us, 20 yards. Shoot, drops, flopping around. We're high-fiving. Next thing you know, bird takes off down the deer trail. So here we are scattering, looking and everything, and Dad goes down one trail, I go down another. I holler at him, Dad, there's somebody's decoy over here in this brush pile. He goes, shoot it. So I shot again, and by God, it was him. 1 7/8 spurs. I almost lost that bird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, you just wouldn't think that. You would think that once you smoke one and they're doing, like you said, the old turkey flop, like they're done.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Darla texted me, and after I got done talking to Cade, told him, I said, I can't find him, and I was going to go look. She texted me. She said, hey, send some pictures. And I said, I texted her back. I said, I will. As soon as I find him, he got up and ran off. She's like, what?
So after you shot him the second time and that booger up, what you wanted to do for the mount then? Since you said you did
No. So, I don't know. Did I send that to you guys on Snapchat? What I was going to do for this,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
me and my boy were gonna, something different we seen.
Oh, I've
Okay,
seen those. Yeah, those
Yeah,
are cool.
yeah. So and I just didn't want to mess all them feathers up by, so that's why I didn't,
I got you.
go that route. So
Dude, that's crazy. Well, you got some big shoes to fill now, Brett.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it's-
I don't think
it's
it can
one of
top
those.
me in that.
It's one of those things.
I've never had one
Right.
get up and take off.
Chris comes right up to the
base and just smacks a
yeah,
home run. And,
that's
hey, Brett, first time listener, first time
Yeah.
this and that. Hey, you need to go through and back this up now.
yeah.
He's gonna have to put his next on and just grab one.
Yeah,
by the
exactly.
leg.
That's going to be the next one. He's going to be like, dude, I was going to shoot him, but I remember Chris's story. Fuck Chris. So I got to go out there. I got to grab him by his neck, and I got to, pop it off like
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this year turkey season's been pretty tough. Either they're on the neighbors or just not cooperating. But I think it was about 3-4 years ago. This is probably the craziest turkey hunt I've ever had.
Is it the one with you in the bush?
Yes.
Yes, that's awesome.
And
Love the story.
so I got me and my buddy Clark, we're trying to find birds, and I'm like, I think we can probably get one going.
Which I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Yep.
Since you said Buddy Clark, I don't know how much of a buddy this is. We've been hounding him for how many years now?
That's true, for
to
that
get,
footage.
To get me that footage.
Yeah.
So Clark, if you're listening to this,
We need
quit being a lazy ass and get him or me this footage.
We need it.
get the
We
damn
need it.
footage here, Clark.
Yes.
Get it here.
Exactly. All right, go on.
So
sorry.
anyway, so we're running around like you do mid-morning, trying to fire up a bird. Finally got one fired up, and we just kind of game plan, try to figure out how we can get snuck up on this bird. I'm like, okay, if we get in this bean field, I think we put decoys out, we can possibly get this bird. I mean, it was the only gobble we heard, so you would think he's going to come right in. So we're sitting there, do a couple calls, do some cutting, soft yelps, no gobble. So we're kind of looking at each other. Clark's, 20 yards probably to my right. I'm using a bow, and I just kind of look over at him, and I just hear him start laughing. I'm kind of like looking at him, like, what are you laughing at? Well, then all of a sudden I hear the bird going full strut behind me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's close. All right. So then, I hear it walking, and then he can't contain himself. He's just dying laughing over there. And I'm like, I don't know what's so funny. It's a turkey coming up behind me. And then at the corner of my eye, I see a turkey in full strut in his head. And then I just feel a turkey fan brush my right shoulder.
Dude, that's so crazy.
And then I'm using a bow, so instantly everything's just starts shaking. And I don't know how I held it together, but I didn't get a full decap on him, but it died. It took off running, but that was just, I don't know if I could ever top that one
Dude,
the rest of my
that
life.
story is crazy. Oh, and for those of you that don't know, like the decap broadheads, it's just this huge, I don't even know what you want to call it, like an axe, I guess.
Three-bladed axe,
Three-bladed
pretty much,
axe and a broadhead. Like you shoot it right at their head, you take it off, and it just pops right off.
Yeah.
But I got mine last year with it. Brett got his with that. Dude, it's something to where if you want to challenge,
It's
dude,
fun.
It's super fun, and it's one of those things to where, he hit his and he killed his. He didn't shoot one with a shotgun like yours and took off.
I know it.
Yeah, that is one thing that I did like about doing mine, and I'm sure you were probably the same way. Like if you
Yeah.
miss, you miss.
Yes.
But if you hit that bird, dude, that bird's done.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you shoot them in the body, they're going to live.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt them anything
No.
like this. But you hit them.
And I did. I was so nervous. My first shot, if you ever get to see the video, it hits him right on the back, right in front of the tail fan. And he gets so mad that he thinks the Jake of our decoys was the one
attacking him.
that attacked him. So, we got awesome footage of that, but I'm still nervous that Clark's over there saying, get another arrow. And I'm like, so I'm trying to fumble around, grab another arrow, and then finally he gets in full strut, 5 yards in front of my face. I'm like, well, okay, it's now or never. You got to this is got to happen. You got to do it. You can't go this far. You only brought 2 arrows. You can't go this far and let it. And then, the rest is history, and it happened. So
Yeah, that's
it was
awesome, man.
awesome.
How far out did you practice with those?
10 yards.
10?
Yep.
When I did mine, I got out to 15.
Yep.
But after that 15, dude, they
They
dropped
get-
bad.
yeah.
That's my boy. He decapped a bird, and he was practicing at 10, 15 yards. But yeah, after 15,
Yeah,
they're
they
they're
get real,
done.
they get
yeah.
real screwy.
Yep.
But yeah, that's something awesome. So,
But yeah, but you two are you guys
Still planning on going out one more time in fifth season together?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think I got my buddy Mitch Gibson and then Bret. They got fifth season tags, so we're gonna try to. I mean, we got 4 days left. We might as well go try to get it done in the mornings before work. And
we got
you
it
know,
done last year, fifth season together, me and Chris. So
Yeah. Went with him, and then the next day I went with one of my buddies and called for him, and he shot one that morning. We killed 2 birds in a row, fifth season last year. So hopefully keep the ball rolling here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know at least for the last 3 seasons or more, it seems like you almost want to get like that later.
later season just because of weather?
right.
Yeah.
I know it.
I mean, it's been straight trash here.
Yeah, but first season, I mean, it's such a gamble anymore. You know, youth season sucks, which youth season they need to just take that and get rid of it. Give them kids youth tags and let them hunt first through fifth
Yes.
season until
I
they kill a
wholeheartedly
damn bird.
agree.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what they need to do.
Because after me, you went opening day. No, I wouldn't even say opening 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was after that. The next couple of days was just garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful as you want it first day, and it kind of like, oh shit, finally we're going to get a good spring, and then it just straight nose.
Yep,
Started to get
snow
windy and then got
wind
cold
and-
again.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then I mean, it just yeah.
Yeah. So
I got a hot topic question. I've been seeing a lot about this on social media.
Well, it's true then.
Yeah, it's got to be true.
gotta be true.
I mean, I'm all for it, but what are your guys' take on reaping a bird behind a decoy?
I'm good with it.
I would.
I mean,
oh yeah.
I see so much bashing on it. I mean, I'm sure you guys have too.
Oh yeah,
You know, there's so many haters out there on it. I mean, to me, it's just another,
Another
thing in our tackle box.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
I mean, there ain't no different than calling a bird in or reaping a bird to me. I mean, it's all the same
Yeah.
deal.
to me,
I
it's
mean,
like the same thing. Like when they're talking about like, oh, crossbows are going to be legal, and there's going to be no deer left ever in the world. They're all going to die. Like you still have to find these birds.
Exactly.
You still have to locate these birds. You still got to get
fi-
them to come to you.
Yeah, find one that wants to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too, is because like this year, like I had one, and I should have let Caitlin pull the trigger on him and just threw up a prayer. But like that was the only one that I had that was even interested. Everything else, dude, they came down, shut up, and they were gone.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah. So if we tried to reap them, they're shit. They have to turn and ran the other way instead of walked. But yeah, no, I'm good for what's their negative about it? I mean, what's the,
It's just your old school hunters, that it's just beating their brain to, go sit in a blind or go sit at the base of a tree and call one into a decoy, which I'm all for. I love doing it. But last resort, I'm going to pull out a strutter and go.
well, yeah, especially I mean, because a season is what 5 days, 6 days on a long side or something
Yeah,
like
the
that.
fifth season 7 days. That's our longest season.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm
all you
saying. Like,
got.
it's not like you have like the whole month and a half to go. If you got like
No.
one season tag,
especially with shit weather and stuff, dude. If you can go through and get it and go, dude, get it and go.
If you got a bird hung up 150 yards away and he's not coming to you or committing, that'd be a fun challenge.
Right.
Them older birds, man. I mean, I'm not saying you're never going to call them in, but there's so many times them things hang up on you, which we all know. And if you don't do something like that, if you don't put yourself in a position to try to get yourself closer or reap them or something, you ain't killing them.
well, that makes me
You're not
sit there
gonna
and
kill
think
'em.
too.
Too, like when you're talking about like having to be 100 yards away or something and they're hanging up. So what's the difference with having them sitting there, with the full strutter, as opposed to you just having a fan and just moving around? I mean, to me, it's basically the same thing.
It's the same
Right.
exact
I mean, they still got their full. I mean, it's not moving. I guess to them or something.
And I mean, honestly, I love sitting there and calling a bird in. Don't get me wrong, but the couple that I have reaped, dude, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
It's a rush. It's a
an
hell of a
adrenaline
rush.
and I think that's what the people that are hating on it and not
They just haven't experienced.
they haven't experienced it. No,
Right.
and I think if once they do it, I bet they'd be hooked.
Yeah.
So
It's like so many other things. People, no.
Right.
And like, oh, screw it. I'll try it one time. And then they're like, yeah, I've never said that before in my life. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. It's the
I've
best.
been doing this for years.
Exactly. It's the best thing since sliced bread, man.
Exactly.
At least when you're sitting in Florida with a giant feeder out with corn in it and sit in front of the corn feeder.
Yeah.
Got one this morning. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Killed your pet bird.
Yeah. I mean, now that's no fun right there.
Right.
And they had talked about before our bird population started going down, there was some talk about, you guys remember, actually per season maybe letting people hunt all day, like each season, maybe have so many days per season where you can hunt all day. But in all honesty, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like I know my farms, and that I don't even think that's fair because I mean, I know where I could go sit every night and let them come back to the roost,
Yeah.
not call, not do anything, just shoot them right when they get there. And
Which I agree with you, but I'm sitting here thinking because every time like I have to think about this stuff is I think about my wife and then I think about Kaylin, who I know would be way easier to go through and take them out, not have to get them up super early in the
That would-
morning.
yeah, that would
get
be-
them moving,
I never thought
sneaking,
about that.
sneaking in inside because. Dude, I mean, I love my wife to death. I so do. I mean, she, I swear to God, is 6'7", 450 pounds when she walks through the timber. Dude, I mean, it is crunch. So I mean, because she's so scared, she's going to step in a hole. You know, she can't see, so we have to have a light on, and I'll be like, hey, turn your light off. And she, well, I can't see. Well, I don't care, you know. So to me, it would be better to where if we could get up and get her out there,
Right.
that would be
2,
good. I
3
never
o'clock
thought
in the
about that.
afternoon.
Yep.
You know, we go through and sit. But I wholeheartedly do see where you're coming from, but I
Yeah.
think it would be something to where, because I know me and Levi talk about this quite a bit, trying to get new people into this. Right.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people, like,
That
one
would
of their
be-
biggest things is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to maybe have a chance to go and do this and that. But if you could go through, get up, have your day going, be like, hey, let's go try and sit for the last, 2 hours, something like this, and walk out there and check stuff out.
Yep.
Kind of more enjoy the day
Yeah.
kind of deal.
Yeah. You ain't getting up early, you ain't going in the dark, and then
Yeah.
that would work out pretty good, especially for youth hunters and people that are new to it.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty good
Right.
deal.
'Cause
I
like I
never
said-
thought of it that way.
Because I know, like I said, I know if with Danielle, it's like she'll hear stuff sometimes and she just like locks up. She's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's an owl. Keep moving your ass. Like, we're going super slow. The sun's coming up in 10 minutes. Like,
Right.
we need to move. And she's like, oh, I can't see. I'm afraid I'm going to roll my ankles. Shut your mouth and just keep,
Just follow me.
Exactly. Like, I almost have to, I know I'm carrying everything and decoys and this and that, and you're walking, but I'm about to pick your little ass up and I'm about to carry you.
Yeah.
Like, we need to move.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that get attacked and killed in Illinois when they're on hunts.
Right.
Don't hear that going down too often.
But like I said, no, I see exactly what you're saying. But I almost wonder if like there couldn't be a way for like kind of like you were saying, like if for like youth hunters be able to have this ability to go in the afternoon or something like this, or
That would
Make
be
it-
huge.
I mean I know there's no way you can like regulate it, but have like a
Certain seasons, maybe like second and third
yeah
until
okay
sunset.
Yeah,
Right.
just
You know.
do per season.
Right.
Give 1 day per season where you can hunt
Right.
all day.
Yep.
So you get 1 day per season, which
Could
you know,
be
that-
opening day. Could be your last day. Just one day. per
whatever,
season.
1 day per season.
Yep.
And I mean, I think they just ought to take it, and we'd have a 1 month turkey season. And
wholeheartedly
you
agree.
split it in half. So you send in, and you can get 2 tags if you want, or you get 1. But if you want the 2 tags, then you get to hunt the first 2 weeks on the first tag, and then you got your late season tag, and you get to hunt the last 2 weeks on your late season tag.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to mention something like that because, with the 3 tag system, and the seasons being so short, and then, what if you got guys that are out there consistently filling 3 tags, and then in the fall, you can shoot 2 more birds with a bow,
Yeah.
or fall turkey season with a shotgun.
Yep.
You just put a hell of a dent in the turkey population.
Hell of a dent. That's what we said. I mean, and we got a lot of birds on our farm and our neighboring farms on our one piece, but we all said that, whether we have 3 tags or not, we're shooting 1 bird apiece, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's why some of my buddies that used to have a ton of birds and hardly even see birds anymore, and which I know they're starting to do studies now through the Midwest and even down south with these turkeys, trying to figure out why the population is going down. And some places the population hasn't been touched, some areas. But I was telling my buddies the other day, it's like, man, it used to be the best turkey hunting here ever, and now we hardly have any birds left, and
Yeah.
not very, only 7 miles from where I hunt. And I told Clark the other day when we were out messing around, I said, I think that I think the DNR needs to go back in some of these places that have a ton of birds, net them, and try to relocate some birds around our area to try to get birds going back in other places that there's always been birds.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, I'll agree with you because, I mean, dude, out of my place, for no bigger than it is, dude, it is loaded.
Yeah,
And I mean, it is almost over. Honestly, I think it's almost overpopulated.
I
with
think
hens.
Crazy,
I
ain't it?
think that's your
Yeah.
problem on why you're having such a hard time killing them is there's just so many hens.
Right.
And honestly, I don't think that flock up there has been established that long, so they're kind of all home buddies. They all know each other. They're
Yep.
not venturing out,
Yep.
you know, doing anything crazy. But I have noticed this year, I have seen more turkeys in places I've never seen them before, or you know, around right here close.
Yep.
And it's just weird. Like I was going down the 4 lane the other day. Never seen a turkey. I mean, it's basically a couple of fence rows and a couple of big draws. Never seen a turkey there in my life. I know there's turkeys to the east of there, and there's a big strutter out there right in the wide open.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah,
you know how long they've been living in there, and nobody knows it.
Right.
Right.
So
exactly.
Well, and I know there's places, and I'm sure you guys are the same too. Like if I go to Galesburg, dude, I'm looking at the same like 2 or 3 spots every single time because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
always like 5 to 10 strutters just out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm just like,
there was
how?
there was
How?
3 standing by the road yesterday when I went by there.
By the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, same spot,
every-
On the,
exactly.
on the Galesburg City
Exactly.
property. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single time.
yeah.
But no, I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you on that because, like I was saying, dude, I mean, every morning I go, dude, them toms are going nuts, and then I'll hear like 4 or 5 hens, and then wherever they go, and if they're not coming my way, dude, I'm boned.
Yeah.
It's like Ray I said way back in the day. He was laughing all when we released birds here and we started hunting. He was laughing at all of us. He said, "Oh yeah, all you guys up there in Illinois just bragging about we're just killing the shit out of birds. We're knocking the hell out of them." He said, "You wait till your harems get established, and then you tell me how easy it is to kill a turkey. When you're dealing with 2 gobblers and 2 hens on a farm, or then it's a lot different from having 30 or 40 birds on it in an area.
How can you compete with live decoys?
Oh, dude, that's
You know?
That's the biggest thing too. Is
yeah. How can you compete with something?
especially like Levi was saying, they're all home buddies.
Right.
They know each other.
Yep.
They're this and that. So unless you get that one tom that's like, hey, mother effer, like, what are you doing in my area?
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I mean, like right now is the time. This season is when you can get those guys to break away and be like, man, these hens ain't doing nothing for me. I gotta venture somewhere different.
Right.
This 5th season.
Do you guys think it has something to do with the goblin too? That there's the hens are just so readily available.
Yeah, they know where they're at. They ain't got to gobble.
Yeah, they ain't
yeah.
gotta go looking.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, at least at my place, dude. I mean, as soon as that first owl hits that, dude. I mean, they're going. But I've been in there numerous times, and once the sun starts coming up, like I can look, and I can see like toms just sitting right there in the roost. Right, never say a word. The only time I know that they're there is when I hear them fly down.
Yep.
But it seems like it's the same 5 every single time in their same spot that are firing off, but they all go the same way because them hens, I can hear them off in the distance, and that's where they're going.
Well, I got one farm late season bow hunting, not last year, the year before. I counted 86 hens in the field while I was hunting.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
A lot of birds.
not a single Tom or Jake in the group, all hens.
Yeah. See, and that's
Could not believe my eyes.
and that's something where like exactly like Chris was saying, you contact DNR and be like, dude, I got a 30-acre block, 20, whatever, 40, 80, and I got 87 of these things out here. Like, come do like a help me, help you kind of deal. Like, come.
Yeah, let's relocate some
Exactly,
birds. I
yeah.
mean, I think that's what we need to start doing. I mean, there's places that got plenty of birds. Just take a few birds here or there, relocate them, and try to get them going again. I mean,
Because if not, I mean, you're more or less going to go through like with
Deer season when you got like,
shit, dude. Levi's told me, he's like, oh yeah, I went out and called, saw 74 of them today, and I was like, oh shit, how many bucks? Like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause-
Ratio is
yeah, the ratio is just so off, and
since you can't,
Yeah.
you can't blast a hen or nothing. You can't really regulate it yourself.
right.
Only in the fall.
In the fall.
yeah. In the
Oh,
fall.
you can do them in the fall.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, it just.
But
You got to balance it out.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean,
If not, you're going to go through just like with deer, man. You're going to get disease.
Yeah.
You're going to get inbred. You're going to get blah 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 and all
Yep.
this other stuff. Like yeah.
it's like you want to balance it out, but then on the other hand, you're like, oh God, how many eggs is she going to lay? How many of those birds
yeah,
are gonna
exactly. Are gonna
survive?
make it.
Right.
So it's like, oh, what do you do? It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
But if you have 70 some of them out there, you would like to sit here and think that if you took, Jesus, I'd even say like 30 of them.
That's what I was
You
thinking.
know, 30 of them, you still have 30 of them out there, and your chances are still good that they're going to go through and lay eggs and make it through. And
Yeah.
My buddy was mushroom hunting last week down around the Galva area. He owns a bunch of property, and he sent me a picture, found a hen nest, and there was 13 eggs in it. And I'm like, man, that's
good.
a pile. I didn't realize a turkey would lay 13 eggs.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
crazy.
well, that makes me wonder too, because I know at least around here,
It seems like coyote hunting's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
So I wonder too,
if people are going out there and just laying the hammer to them to where they're not going through and getting, you know, so many eggs. And I know that I've been talking to some people too, dude. I mean, they're just blasting raccoons too, because
Yeah,
they're
that's
just
one of our
everywhere.
biggest issues.
We did that this year. I felt really bad. Like you can ask
Oh,
Bret
yeah.
when we got out there. I wasn't all about it. It was on our piece, and it's like, man, we need to go coon hunt, but the first couple coons we shot right out of the gate, and they hit the ground, walked up, you know,
Oh,
big coons, and I'm like, and we just turned around to keep hunting and leave them there. I was like, I didn't feel right about it. Well, my other buddy that was with me that hunts with me on that farm, he's like, dude, think about your acre and a half food plot that got destroyed before season got here of
Exactly.
all corn because it got planted late. So it was like sweet corn to them. So they destroyed it. He said, think about all the crop damage your brother-in-law is going through. Think about all your turkey eggs getting ate. He's like, you know, it sucks, but he's like, you got to do something.
Oh yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
It just, I wish they were worth something. Like,
Right.
you know, that way,
Oh yeah, get
You're not-
something out.
out of them.
so
Yeah.
you're not just shooting something. I mean,
yeah, you're not shooting and walking away. If they were worth
gotta be
something,
a purpose.
I'm good with it, but it just felt weird. But I mean, and I thought Mother Nature would take care of itself by now with these coons because usually it always does. Overpopulation, disease, you know, like in the early 2000s, I think it was, when them coons got that distemper and they were dying off
Yeah.
all over the place. It just don't seem to be happening.
But I mean, I understand like you're saying, like all those raccoons stuff. But do you want that out on your property? I mean, you know, a disease going around, all of a sudden they get into this and it gets into, you know, whatever, and all of a sudden, like, let's say it gets into the farmers something or other, and this and that. You know,
I
to me,
know
it's a lot easier to just go through and crack off a couple coons.
I know it.
You know,
It
be
is.
done with them. But I get exactly like where you're coming from
Yeah.
and everything, because like even when I'm deer hunting, like a raccoon comes by and I'm like, dude, I should just smoke you.
right.
But then I'm like, but I'm not going to.
I was mushroom hunting a couple weeks ago. I got some video on my phone. I'll show you guys here after a bit. But this big den tree, and the den's up like 10 foot off the ground. It's a giant hole in this tree, like this big. And I just happened to look up there, and I seen a head stick out, and it was a coon. And so I glassed it, and there was a bunch of little babies in there nursing. And so I pulled my side-by-side right up next to it, and I got on the roof of it, and I'm from me to you away taking video of 4 little babies and then the mama. And then she finally got a little pissy and ran up the tree, and then the little baby stayed there. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I could get rid of 5 of them right now, but it's one of those deals. That,
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, and just going off topic a little bit. I mean, just like that, like everybody always thinks like hunters are like cold-hearted killers.
Right.
Like we want to kill everything. You know, screw this. We want to murder.
Right.
No.
I mean, just that right there is, you know, it's like,
We're the complete opposite.
yeah, you know, like we're trying to sit there and think like something like for the future, for this, to make sure that these animals are taken care of. Even raccoons, you know, that we're
Right.
talking about.
That don't do anything for us at all.
no.
They're just
You
a
know.
nuisance to us, but
Exactly.
we still take care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Man, just like that one the other day, I sent you guys a Snapchat. I was talking to it.
Yeah.
Talk to Donovan.
I was trying to tell
Yeah.
you stay away from the turkey egg. I'll stay
Right.
away from
Exactly.
you.
we'll make a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw you a biscuit
I
every
wasn't
Thursday.
sure if it comprehended it at all, but
Right.
you know, it was
That's
worth
like
a shot.
AJ said, when your turkey season's going bad, you're out there talking to other animals, you better just hang her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Call it good for the year.
It's enough for a day.
When I don't hear any gobbles for a while, I just start turning to other animals.
Right.
Like, can I talk to you?
Right.
We gonna get a mushroom blow up with this ring, the big ones.
Dude, you're talking the wrong. Only mushrooms I get come on my pizza. Dude, I mean, I don't. Dude, you guys send me this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, good for you. And I throw like that patented. Everybody says, must be nice, you know. I don't, because I swear to God, dude, they could be in a room like this, cement floor and everything, dude. I wouldn't find a one. I would not find a one. Of course, I probably do like you were saying what Clark was doing, dude. I probably speed walk through there.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not down nose to the ground like you are, like smelling them out.
It's huge.
laying
I
over
mean,
every leaf that's coming through.
Hell, me and Brett there last week, we were on our hands and knees forever. And if we wouldn't have done that, we'd have missed so many mushrooms.
We
so.
would start the same tree, and we would just do circles. And I would walk past a mushroom. Chris would walk
Shut
past
the
a mushroom.
fuck. No, you don't.
Didn't we?
Swear to God.
And then we would sit down for a little bit on our knees, and I'd say, "Well, here's one," and then I'd have one by my foot, and then
No, really.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, that just.
And I was just-
me and Clark the other day. It was the same deal. Like we went and checked that maple tree, and he came back and, oh man, there's 4, there's 3, and
Yeah.
hell, he walked right by him right out of the gate. I mean, but they're just underneath all the stuff.
I
Just
was almost
gotta-
convinced that day that they were popping up as we were sitting there. 'Cause I'm like, "There's no way I just
That's
walked past that."
that's what I'm saying. Like if you go through and you check and you Scooby Doo it, nose down to the ground a couple times.
that's what we did,
And you don't
yeah.
find nothing, and then Chris comes through and he's like, "Oh, look, you're stupid. Here's 3
Yeah,
more."
that's exactly what happened. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, "What about these?" I'm like, well,
And
I must just pop them up.
I'll be honest with you, I don't pick any. I mean, I'm not saying I don't pick any mushrooms off of elm trees anymore. I do here and there, but I pick all my mushrooms off of soft maples.
Seeing, yeah, and
That's
I
it. That's
remember-
it.
That's
Yeah,
And
when you
they're-
said that, I thought that was weird.
They're historical trees too, so it's not dying soft maples. They're live soft maples. So if you find a soft maple that produces mushrooms, you just go back to that same tree year after year after year after year after year and pick hundreds of mushrooms every year. And
I've been finding them under big white oaks this year, and he was telling me about the soft maples. So I was running the farm trying to find that. Come up on a big white oak, pick 30. Next day, or a week later, pick 35, pick 40. It's just
the soft maples, they're a little bit later producers than the other trees. So if you check one and don't find any, don't give up on it. Like, later in the season, like right now, make sure to go back and check it. But there's a soft maple on the farm this year. I mean, that one,
Yeah.
I've picked 400 mushrooms off that one tree so far.
Gee, mate. Well, that makes me wonder because like we were talking earlier, we've had like these last couple springs have been just straight trash. I mean, getting cold and stuff like this. So since you're saying like the maples and stuff go through, I wonder if that's something like people might want to like put in the back of their mind.
Right.
Because
It's-
like
a lot of people would just go straight to fresh peeling elm.
Maples have always, soft maples have always been good. It's just people never check them. Like my cousin lives down the street from me. He's got, I'm going to say 7 or 8 soft maples on the farm next to us. He's been mushroom hunting that farm for 15 years, and he picks off them 7 or 8 trees in the last 15 years. He picks 30 or 40 pounds every year. Every year off the same trees.
Damn.
that's just, wow.
Yeah, it's every year. I mean, hands down, guaranteed.
You're gonna find
Last year was the worst year. I think he picked I don't know what he said. Well, I had a horrible year last year too, but I think he picked 17 pounds last year, which that was like
a bad year, right?
Right.
a horrible year.
Oh man, it
A
was
horrible year. But
it's
so
just
bad.
awful. I only threw up twice from eating too many of them.
they are. If you find ones that produce, then they'll produce every year.
And
Unlike elms, though, right? Don't elms they only get maybe a couple
If
years out of them?
You get a
you
couple
got
years.
a couple years. Like last year, me and my wife were walking around the farm, and this is no joke. She just said, "I wish we could walk up on a hillside and just see hundreds of mushrooms." And I was like, I said, that's been a while for me to do that. And we turn the corner, go up this hillside, and I'm like, all right, honey. I'm like, here's your chance. And we look up. I mean, there's grays, there's yellows, and we just got on our hands and knees, and I think we ended up with 287
Yeah,
under one tree.
yeah, one elm tree.
Fresh peeling. I mean,
Yeah,
it just popped. So.
Those red elms, if you look up and there's no leaves growing on it and that top is just starting to crack, that's its best year. The second year, bark's starting to fall off. You're going to still pick them. Third year, minimal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like this year. I think last year was its probably peak, but I've been checking it all year this year, and I've probably picked maybe 40, and I've been picking maybe inch, tall grays. But the other day I found some yellows under it, so I mean it was
We'll give it.
If you know there's something there,
Right,
you're
you
going
might as well
by,
check
might as
it.
well check
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Ground temperature this morning, 4 inches down in Knox County was 59 degrees, so which is getting up there. But we get this rain, The ground temperature is perfect right
How'd
now.
you
Very
know
humid.
it was 4 inches? Like, how do you know it was 4 inches? Like, was the ground temperature?
I get on. There's a website I check every
I
morning.
figured you
It's
pulled.
the-
I figured you pulled your Peter out and measured it twice.
I couldn't get that deep.
That's what I'm saying. Had to do it twice to get there.
Yeah, I'd have to check it a couple times, but
There's an app though that you can go through and see.
yeah, it's
something like
through
that.
the Farm Bureau agency, and you can check it every morning. They put it up at 7 o'clock, and it tells you what the ground temperatures are at. And mushrooms at 45 will start popping, which we picked a shit ton of mushrooms at 45-degree ground temperature this year. But all the way, I think the spores at 63 or 65 degrees. It kills them. The heat kills them once it gets to that temperature.
Right, I've always heard that, and that's interesting to me. That because now, instead of kind of like going because you need to go or something, if there is something to where you can be like, oh shit, tomorrow,
Right.
like
We need to go because the temperature is going to be. Because like I said, I don't know nothing about it, but I have been told that like the temperature's got to be right in the ground, not just like in the air.
Moisture.
And it was just so
Yeah. crazy
crazy picking mushrooms with a coat and a stocking cap. It just
Yep.
blew my mind. But
But the ground temperature was good.
Right, but I would almost prefer that than sweating with gnats and bugs.
Oh,
and all that
yeah.
stuff.
Oh
Go
yeah.
out when it's 42 degrees, almost 50.
Yeah.
Pick a mess of mushrooms and not have to sweat and worry about bugs.
Oh yeah, dude, I never
It was
thought
awesome.
about that because every
was
every
fantastic.
picture you see of anybody, their jeans
Yeah.
covered in sweat. You can tell they've been out there sometimes sunburnt.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yep. Not out there just getting your ass ate up alive by
Mosquitoes and that. We didn't have one bug.
not one bug.
No.
No. No, but it was cold.
It was cold.
Sunday was what 40 degrees.
I
When
think
we
it
were out?
might have got 40, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And
I was mad I didn't bring gloves. I was like, I forgot.
I hadn't checked them trees in was three or 4 days. I hadn't checked any of them, and we went and hit 11 trees, and
Our first tree, we found, 60 out of the gate?
yep.
Yeah.
So when you guys go, because I've always been told too that like you want to go through and take like a mesh bag or something because like the spores fall off.
Right.
Is there any truth or anything like that?
There is. I mean,
is.
and I see where guys will take. You find them big yellows, and if you find a bunch in one area, some guys will take them yellows and break them up and not take them with them. Break a few of them up, and just disperse them because there's so many spores in them big giant yellow mushrooms. They say at least take a couple and break them up and throw them around to throw them spores
Broadcast it,
back in the ground, but. I ain't doing that shit.
No.
I find 500, 1,000 of them as it is. I don't need any more.
No.
Yeah, nope, I ain't doing that.
If I find a mushroom, I'm taking it home. I'm going to enjoy it.
No, it was a game changer for me when I started looking at soft maples. That's where, because I was relying on elm trees every year, and then if I couldn't find good peeler elms or new ones, I'd struggle. But then once I went to soft maples,
How'd you figure out the soft maples thing?
because my cousin that lives down the street.
Oh, okay,
hunts
from
on-
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like, dude, you gotta start looking at soft maples, and I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, dying ones? He's like, nope. You want them to be alive, and he said, once you find a good one, they'll produce every year. And so then, I've told a ton of people that, and one of my buddies, kind of weird, but when I was in Mobile last week, he come up to me, and he's actually, we were talking a story. He's the guy that got broke into, and big outdoorsman. He called me. He said, "Chris," he said, I can't find any mushrooms, dude." He said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if I can't see good enough anymore or what." And I said, "You need to start trying to find soft maples, like I told you." He's like, "Are you shitting me, or are you being serious?" I said, "I'm being dead serious." Went up to Mobile before I went to work last week, and he goes, "Man, can I give you a hug?" Which he always does anyway. Hug it outright in Mobile. He's like, "Man, I almost want to start crying." I said, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Dude, I went to the soft maples," and he goes, "I'm picking the shit out of mushrooms."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I was never a believer. Chris, he's never lied to me.
Right. But he's a
And-
bullshitter.
Yeah. So I'm just like, all right. He's just, we'll see if Curry goes and looks for soft maples. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
As he's over on your everything else,
Yeah.
just loading them up. No, keep looking. You just got to go
I
deeper.
think
over
there's
there.
one over
Yeah.
that way.
but
Yeah.
the past couple of years that I've found some on my place, I'm a firm believer, and it's just insane.
You have to-
Because you don't know how many times you just like walk by, like,
Oh, yeah,
that's
like I
not
said,
an elm. That's not an elm. Like, I'm just gonna keep, and then you probably walk past 200, 300 mushrooms, and you just don't even know it.
Yeah, and sycamores are another one. If they need to be, usually they got to be really big ones, really big sycamores, and that's another tree that'll produce a shit ton of mushrooms that people never look at.
Yeah, that's
I got a buddy of mine. He picks most of his mushrooms off a sycamore patch every year. I mean, hundreds and hundreds, giant sycamores. But like on our farm outside Knoxville, I didn't even know there's any sycamore trees on it. I've looked, and I actually found some this year. There was like 7 or 8 of them in one little group, and I've checked it 3 or 4 times. And I didn't pick no mushrooms off of it, but I don't know if they're not big enough or what, but those are producers too.
I'll have to go check mine because I've got a few that, God, I don't know how old those trees are. I mean, they're just freaking massive.
The bigger, the better. That's what the ones my buddy checks. These trees are huge. I mean, they're gigantic. And well, his first time out this year, he picked 170 off of one.
I know what I'm going to be doing.
oh yeah, dude. I'm sitting here thinking the same thing. I'm like,
And
do I have any trees like that?
the soft maples, they're better if they're on a creek bottom and down low, usually just off a creek somewhere. And another thing, like if you go check one next year early, don't get discouraged because all them leaves fall off, and even if it's an area there's no underbrush and it's just pretty clear, don't get discouraged. If we got the moisture, when them spores come out of the trees and then all the leaves fall off, they cover that, and if everything looks dry as shit, you're like, oh, there ain't no mushrooms here. If you pull them leaves up, which I was showing him last week, you grab them leaves and pull them off the ground and look underneath them leaves, it's wetter than shit underneath them leaves, even though it looks dry.
Yeah.
And those things will just pop out. I mean, there don't have to be any underbrush. They'll just come right through them leaves. They'll pop out. They'll have maple leaves sitting right on top of the damn mushrooms. And
that's like that tree we found almost 300 on last year. Me and my wife went and checked it this year. I'm like, I'm not seeing anything. Well, then she just started just taking leaves, and there were just probably 100 little grays just sitting all around.
So if you go through like,
And you find like these 100 little grays, and they're, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or something. Are you like taking a memory, like
Where they're at?
where they're at,
Yes.
go back and pick them a couple days later?
Yep.
Right.
And
I did it this year, big time. Left a bunch, and 3/4 inch grays. I went back, and they didn't get a whole lot bigger. So I just we picked the shit out of them the other day.
that day I called Chris and I said, all right, you might call me stupid, or this might be the dumbest question you've heard. I'm like, but do mushrooms grow that much? And he's like, yeah, they kind of do. And they did.
They will.
They grew, but they didn't get like a massive gray.
Right.
You know, they got from 3/4 of an inch to maybe 1.25 inches, if that.
You're not going to find a 1-inch gray and then go back a week later and pick it, and it's going to be 5 inches.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's going to grow.
You'll get a little growth. But another thing, like when my mushrooms, to keep them. So, like when we had that cookout
I
down
don't
on
know
our
if
street
you want
last
to
night.
give out this secret, because me and Levi have talked about having this be a secret for a while, because a lot of people don't know how to keep mushrooms.
Oh.
so
If you're willing to give up the old Chris secret,
Well, it might not be the same secret you guys
I
got,
know,
but
okay.
I mean, the way I keep mine is I put them. I don't clean them. I don't do anything to them. I leave them 100%. Bring them home. Throw them in a Aldi's paper bag, and in the bottom of the bag, I take a wet paper towel, put down there. The top of the bag, I put a wet paper towel, and I just leave the bag open and put
now,
it.
this is probably dumb, but like on the outside of the Aldi's bag, or do you like try
On
to
top
make-
of the mushrooms.
On top
that's
of the
okay. That's what I was asking.
yep.
We're like, okay.
And so every couple days, I'll go through and I'll wet that paper towel down to where it's pretty wet and it's dripping some water down through. But about 3 weeks, you can get about 3 weeks out of them
Yep.
that way, keeping them in the fridge.
Nice.
So
See,
about
I've froze them. You know, done it that way. You know, just
Yes.
egg wash them, roll them in flour, and then put them on cookie sheets.
and if flash freeze them, and then, we do that too.
Yeah,
but
I've never been able to keep one that long in the fridge, so that's good.
yeah,
to know.
don't clean them at all. Don't get hardly any water, because and people like salt water, That's the worst thing you can do to a mushroom.
Imagine it dried out real quick.
It destroys them.
Breaks
That,
them
that
down.
salt will destroy them. So you don't even clean them. I mean, and this year it's been so damn cold. We cut up a shit ton of mushrooms yesterday, and
Bugs.
hardly any bugs.
Yeah, I
No
noticed
ants.
that.
I mean, it's crazy,
Yeah.
but it's just been so damn cold out. The bugs weren't up in them. But like this week, if we get our next wave, they'll be full of bugs.
Because it's
and
humid today, so them bugs are.
They're gonna
They're
be all
going
up in
out.
there.
Yeah.
so that's the thing. This week, if I found mushrooms, I'd probably bring them home, rinse them, set them out, let them dry off real good, and then put them back in the bag, and then store them, and then go that route. Or actually, at this point in the time, I'll probably just bread them and freeze them now, because
Now, have you ever tried cooking them whole? We were talking about this at work the other day. That I tried one time. I found some pretty good sized grays and some smaller yellows, but I mean they were just perfect size. So I just kind of cut the stem, cleaned them up, washed them out real good, and then I stuffed them full of like cheese and ham or cheese and bacon and stuff
that
like
sounds
that.
really
And
good.
dropped them right in, breaded them real quick and dropped them in the deep fryer. And dude, they came out like nothing I've ever tasted before in my life.
oh, I've never
does
tried
sound-
that.
I've
Yeah,
never
that,
Yeah,
that sounds real good.
yeah,
and I'm not even a big. I'll be honest. Like I like going to go, something to do, but like,
Right.
I'm not a big mush. That sounds good.
Yeah,
That-
I mean, hell, stuff them with anything you want. I think we did like cheese and ham and cheese and bacon and then cheese and jalapeno cut up. Yeah.
Well, you got
it
you got
was
the main
amazing.
food group there. You got
Yeah.
the cheese and this and cheese and this and cheese and this. Of course, it's going to be good, dude. You
Yeah.
take a dog turd, wrap that some bitch in bacon.
Right, that's gonna be
Somebody will eat it.
I'll tell you what, I should have brought some damn mushrooms down. I've done that tonight for supper.
Oh no, it's fine. We'll just go to your house later. It's okay.
Yep.
Oh shoot.
So
I don't know. Another thing I kind of want to talk about is,
do you guys do any prescribed burning at all
for your food plots or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys did any of that?
this year? I did my first one this year. It's kind of why
I did
wanted to bring it up.
mine last year, so I usually kind of
Do it every three.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a bunch of our stuff got put into CRP, and so we can't touch it for 3 years. since
Right.
it got put in, so
Right.
I can't do anything to it. I can't burn it or nothing for the first 3 years. Next year I can burn it, but
Right.
some of the stuff we used to have got put into CRP. So
I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, I did that. I mean, I've burned one before for years and years and years ago out of my cousin's property and stuff like this. But like this year, actually on my property, I went through and did it like the slow way and stuff. And the property owner told me, he goes, dude, it's been 10 plus years since this thing's probably been burned off. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see like what comes through and the undergrowth. And
Which
I was surprised it still looked as healthy as it did last year. when
Yeah.
we were out there doing food plots for not being burned off that long.
yeah,
when I did our burn off, I put standing beans in behind it, and that's the best beans I've ever had. Was after the burn.
About how long after the burn?
I probably did the burn in early May, and then planted the beans. I worked it, planted it probably early June, I would say.
Gotcha.
And they stayed green, and then they got ready as soon as, and I had probably 30, 40 deer in there a night, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. But of course, it was that year that didn't get cold till after January 18th. And it's
Right.
like, well, deer season's over, and now I've got, but I mean,
these beans.
but now it's like, okay, I can find sheds in here. That's even better. That's almost better than deer hunting.
dude, I didn't find a one.
No sheds.
And all that, dude. Not even like an old, nasty, crusty one that's been there forever, dude. Nothing. I felt in like part of a
Oh,
fucking
you would think.
part of a backbone and like an old cow leg.
Well, bone's bone, right?
Yeah, no, wrong.
yeah, we've done some big burns on CRP stuff, and you're just the whole time you're just dying looking around. You're
Yeah.
like, man, where's it at?
Like an
and
Easter egg hunt. Just
yeah, and then
100%.
get through the burn and don't find shit, and then there's times we find 7, 8, 9 sheds, and but there's a place down, we did a burn one time, and the old guy that had us do it, he's like, yeah, I got this burn plan, and you guys come on down and do it this weekend for me. And yeah, we all went down there, and was it 60 or 80 acres?
80.
80 of all switchgrass,
yeah.
prairie grass. We back burned the pine ridge first because we didn't want to get in the pines. We back burned it, and then we had a pretty good, decent wind, 10 mile an hour wind, enough to get it going. But it was right by the Spoon River.
Yeah.
We set that baby on fire, and next thing you know, every
Every fire department.
department
Was there.
McQuan, Fairview, Knoxville, everybody was out there, and they pull in, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm burning this CRP off. We got a burn plan." So I had the packet. I gave the guy the envelope. I'm like, "We got a packet here," and he's like, "Yeah, the burn plan's for next weekend," and nobody ever called it in.
Shit.
Yeah, the landowner was like, "Yeah, it's this weekend. Come on over. Let's get it done."
The older guy,
Yeah, so we started doing it, and they're like, "Yeah, nope, wrong weekend."
wrong weekend, and they put it out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all the fire departments put it out, and then London Mills blew their truck up. They got it stuck. They blew the motor in their truck trying to put it out. Wasn't a good deal.
No.
I didn't get in any trouble, but it wasn't a real good deal.
Well, it was going good.
Yeah,
I thought so.
But with that being said, just from experience, if you are going to do any type of like a burn at all, dude, please go through and let your local
Yes.
fire department,
Absolutely.
police department, everybody
Call.
know.
Public
Because it is,
services,
dude, the
everyone.
phones
Yes.
nonstop ring. Hey, I think somebody's barn's on fire. I think somebody's this and this is on fire because they're just driving by.
And that's what, our farm's over in Knox County. I will call and say, "Hey, I'm going to be burning." I'll give him pretty much the exact coordinates of where I'm going to be at. So if you see smoke, it's okay. But if I call you, I need help.
Yeah, like, and it's I need help right now.
Yeah.
Shit got real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurry up and get out
It
here.
jumped on me, and I'm in over my head.
Dude, because when I was out burning mine, my old man he showed up late to the party, and as I usually do, I was doing it probably the worst day you could, being just stupid as shit. Dude, it was one of those days when it was like 80 degrees out. And I'm like, well, I got to, dude. I mean, the wind's perfect and stuff like this, dude. I'm burning, dude. I think I had heat stroke like 7 times, dude. I mean, it was awful. My dad shows up and I was like, hey, you want to come on out and just hang out? And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. And I was like, you want to bring me like a 5-gallon jug of water?
Yeah.
So he brings me some water and stuff, and like you were saying, like it jumps real quick, dude. I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I say, hey, can you see this spot over here? Yeah, I can. He's sitting in his truck and everything, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, Dad, I love you and everything, but I don't trust you. So I start like walking up this everything. Dude, it jumped over from where it was mowed and stuff. So I'm hot and I'm dying of sweat and I'm out there with the blower and I'm getting it blown out and everything. Dude, I get done. I like go down to one knee and everything. And I'm like, this is where I die.
Yep.
And I look up to see my dad, and he's just out, doing old man stuff, like looking out in the timber and watching birds and stuff. And I'm like, my dad's not. He don't even care. He's going to literally not even know I'm dead. Like I'm going to burn alive out here.
Yeah.
But got it all done and everything.
What are you laying down for?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah,
We'll
I don't
take
know
care
why
of
you're
it.
taking a nap. It's hot as shit out here.
This is not the place to do it.
But so most definitely let your people know. And I would suggest to not do it by yourself. That is a hard lesson that I learned.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would
It was
say
awful.
3 to 4 people.
Yep.
Yeah. Depends on how. I mean, if it's 80 acres like we had, I would probably have more than 4
Right.
people. But
Yeah.
at least have someone in each corner.
Yeah.
Always backburn. So it
Yeah,
doesn't-
which I did that, and it's still
jump.
it's
Oh,
still
it'll jump.
down. It was kind of down in like a draw on the bottom. It just swirled on me.
Yep.
And went this and that, and I was like, 1,000 thoughts going through my brain, like, oh my god, I'm going to tell, landowner, hey, what's that on Hangover? Hey, I fucked up. I fucked up real bad, kind of deal.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
everything. But I'm super excited about to see what that is. I actually might drive out there tomorrow just to see, because dude, after this rain and the wind and stuff, dude, that stuff ought to be greening up.
Oh, you'll have new growth for sure.
Yeah, I'm super excited about
Yeah, it'll blow up quick.
Really good. Probably got turkeys over there strutting around.
That's probably where they're at,
I guarantee
too.
it.
Fuckers.
Yeah, that's what I had. I put a trail camera on mine, and it was right after 5th season, and I'm like, I'm gonna go pull a card. I went and pulled a card, and sure as shit, strutters, hens, jakes. I'm like, of course, I should have burned it weeks earlier.
Dude, this is why I love like having these discussions with like different people, or just even me and Levi, dude. It gets my brain going and this and that. This is so you're talking about cameras with turkey hunting.
Yeah.
How often do you ever hear about that?
Not very often.
You know what I mean?
It's gaining traction.
But I see the positive. I don't know what I'm saying.
What I just learned, it's a love-hate. Just because the other morning, I wasn't going to go. I've been working a ton. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go home. I mean, I was asleep by 8:30. I was just exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up at like 5:35, and usually shooting time's been like 5:30 around there. And I wake up, check my cell camera, and the night before at like 7:45, I had 4 strutters right by the camera. And I'm like, they roosted right there. And I am laying in bed. I'm like, what am I? So I ran out, got in my truck, drove 30 minutes to the farm, and there they were out in the middle of the field. And that's what I never used to run cell cameras during turkey season. I think I figured out why I don't now because after that, but it's a love-hate.
Oh, it's just like deer season.
Yeah.
I mean, do the exact
You
same
could
thing.
go hunt this stand over here, have your cell camera there, stand. Oh, he's over there.
Yeah,
I should've
or
hunted
they're
that.
going to be walking right behind your camera. Yeah, no, I
Exactly.
get it. But I really thought about that too, to go through and pop up like maybe 1 or 2 cell cams just for
Yeah.
that reason. Which I guess kind of goes back to like when you were talking about the hunting later in the afternoons and stuff, in the evenings and stuff like this. Because I noticed like on my property, and I think you said this about some of your properties too. Like they might be on your property like first thing at this time, but they're heading somewhere else completely, and they might be on your property at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then they're going to slowly start making their way back.
Yep.
So I think that'd be a good thing. Like you were saying, though, like have a couple days to where you can hunt in the evening and stuff like this. But
Yeah, just, have, one day a season or something, where you could just hunt all day, you know.
which I think would be fun too. You go through, you get with your buddy and stuff like
Right.
this, and it's just like, wife's gonna be pissed, but we're hunting all day. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah.
deal. We're going out there, and you're trying this, trying that. Take a couple sandwiches and sit out there and just get on and get after it.
Especially like youth season, the last
Yes.
few years, the weather's just been garbage.
Oh, yeah.
But
Or
towards the end of the afternoon,
Yeah, the sun came out, it warmed up pretty decent. You could have went out and killed a bird, but it's already 2:00.
exactly, and
Yeah, that, like I said earlier, I think the youth season, they just need to do away with it and just let the kids hunt through the regular season the whole year. And,
dude, I think they should go through and just have turkey season.
yeah,
Like I don't.
Yeah,
I don't understand the
cut,
whole.
cut the permits back.
yeah, 2 birds max.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And have turkey season.
Do it like Missouri does. You can kill
Yeah.
1 bird the first week, or if you decide to, to hunt the weeks after, you can kill both birds in the weeks after that.
Yep.
So your first week you can only kill one,
Yeah.
and then after that you can go
You
through
can go and kill another
So-
one, or you can wait till
till
second.
week 2,
Yeah,
and then you could kill.
both.
You can kill both
I gotcha.
later. Yeah.
I got you.
That's, but Illinois isn't going to give up the 5 turkey seasons because they're making way more money on tags.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, you got to go out and buy 3 tags just to cover yourself for the week, those weeks, because the weather might be garbage 4 out of the 5 days, or
Yeah.
4 out of the 6 days.
Or to try to pick the right ones to have the weekend, or what days you have off
Yep.
at work. That was my biggest
Yeah.
thing. Was like
Or-
I had to go through and pick out, like, because me and you went the one morning, to try to get that worked out to where like my days off work was like maybe for you to go squeeze out for first thing in the morning or for the weekend, and then with Danielle, like her schedule is Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So I tried to get this and that for her. So it was just, to me, it would just be a lot easier all around to go through, buy, like you're saying, 2 tags and be done. And I have the whole whatever month and some change to be able to go through and be like, which this happens to everybody. Wake up, see that it's colder and shit, or it's pouring rain or something, like, dude, fuck this.
I ain't going to
instead of like, dude, I have to go. I only got 3 days left.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you're going out there and
Or if you're, having a stellar spring, chasing birds, and you're just killing them, bang, bang, bang. Like we were kind of talking about with the tag situation and the season situation, but not only the turkey population in general. We're hunting, I would say, close to 7,000 acres in 3 counties, just because I don't want to pull too many birds off of one spot.
right.
Yeah.
So we're spreading it out between 3 counties, 7,000 acres, and it's still hard to get it done.
Yeah. It just,
Turkey hunting wouldn't be fun if it was that easy.
right.
I mean,
but
It's
Dad,
pretty damn fun when it does happen that easy.
right. But Dad, it'd be easier if it was. Dad.
it's them, you go into turkey zombie mode. You're walking around the house at night and you've been up 6 days in a row,
Yeah.
can't even hardly function, and you're like, but then you wake up the next morning, you're laying in bed, you're like, God, man, I don't even think I'm gonna go this morning. But you get up and go, and then that morning it happens, and you're like, it just refuels you.
Yeah,
You're
completely
like,
worth it.
damn, man, I worked my ass off and got it done, just go. But that's what I love about it, and like the other morning, Friday morning, I shot that bird. I got back to my truck. I was like, that's it till next year, man. I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Done. Can't turkey. I mean, I can go.
Yeah,
I can still go. So which I'm cool.
And that's what I like about it too. Like, yeah, you might shoot one, but, and I know Chris is the same way because we've talked about this numerous times. If I'm with Chris and he shoots one, or he's with me and I shoot one, it's almost like I shot it because just the adrenaline and just the excitement is just fantastic. So, I mean, I know you're the same way, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know you're the same way too. As far as if you didn't even have a tag, you'd be 100% good as long as you got to go with people and call and do that thing. I mean, that's where it's at for me. So just to be able to go, that's like this week. I'm gonna split the week up between Bret and my buddy Mitch, and go in the mornings first thing out of the gate and try to see if we can get one more bird killed before it's over.
And usually when we're together, something good happens or something wild happens.
It does.
Not
Every
us.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens.
It does.
Lightning did strike one.
Yeah, but the thing is when it struck, it was a coal miner's asshole dark out.
Pretty much.
Dude, I mean, you couldn't see nothing. Dude, I'm not joking. His old man was 5 yards away from me. I mean, and I could see him like enough to see that he was there and see what he was doing. And you were 5-7 yards away from your dad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see you. And I sure shit couldn't see this bird coming down. Like, I just kind of move and I look and I see this big, just black hunch coming over. And I just see Levi's gun raise up. And I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And I'm like, I can't get this on film, but I'm going to turn my camera on. I just look over and all of a sudden I hear boom, scares the shit out of me. I hit record, and I know I got it on because I can see him with my eyes, but not the camera. Levi running up there and everything like this. I hear this bird flop, and I mean, it's just, for this 3 seconds, just straight chaos. And I'm like, holy shit, me and Levi finally got it done together. Like, this is awesome. It's going to be a memory that I'm going to have, for the rest of my life and everything. But it just sucked because I didn't get it on film.
It happens so quick.
He couldn't wait an extra 3 minutes. For this bird to walk by, for him just to grab it, hold on to
you
it.
have decoys out?
Yeah, I just had a hen out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he pitched down, I don't know, maybe 50 yards from us. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I could see him in the skylight come down, but when he hit the ground, it was still so dark I couldn't see him.
Right.
Until he was already in gun range.
Well, you could probably see him better than I could a little bit because
did
you
you
had
call-
at least
did
the
you
opening
call it
behind
all?
you.
Not once he hit the ground.
I mean, but before that, you did call?
Yeah. I mean, I was doing a little bit of purge and some soft tree yelps.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he was like, all right, I got to get
Yep,
down now.
he was ready to go. And I mean, it was because where I was at, Levi was up kind of on the hillside a little bit. So I'm thinking he could see a little bit better than I could because there was like an open field kind of through the trail line or tree line. He could probably see an outline. Dude, I'm looking like up this hill where it's still pitch dark from us walking in. I couldn't see
Nothing.
But Levi's like, dude, he was so close and I couldn't this and that. And I'm just like, I believe you because I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, I mean, next thing I know, because I had a big tree right there kind of by where the decoy was at. And next thing I know, like, he pitched down on the left side of that tree. Next thing I know, boom, here he is on the right side, and he's already in gun range. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, shit, And I'm like, trying to decide whether I wait, try to milk the footage out, what do we do? And then I'm like, and plus I got to go to work, and I'm just like, screw it, it's now or never.
Yep,
and then
let
I
her eat.
raise the gun up, and I'm using my wife's gun, because normally I just shoot, front and back bead, and I'm using her gun that's got a red dot on it, so I turn it on to the lowest setting, and it's so dark, it's still glowing. I can't see the bird in the red dot. So finally, I just put the center of the scope on where I thought his head would be and pulled the trigger.
It was lucky the bird was so close. It was dark. Levi was just like feeling with his shotgun. And once he felt something, there he is. Boom.
There we go.
I think he's right in this area.
But yeah, that's the part that sucks. But like sometime about filming and stuff, because that would have been, dude, it'd have been awesome. I mean, dude, that bird was right there, came right down, right behind this tree. I mean, like, drew it up perfect. Me, Levi, his old man out there. I mean, it'd have been great. It's how it goes sometimes with going out there. But to get back to like what you're talking about, like, dude, I know it wasn't my bird and everything. And I'm like trying to hold myself, composure and everything else. Like Levi's excited, and we were both just like, I think we kind of had that oh shit, it finally happened moment. Like it was like when you get so excited, you just like hold it and
You just start hugging?
You can't. Well, no, we're men. We don't.
Right, yeah.
We did
High
maybe
fives.
a fist pound. Yeah. But no, it was kind of like for me, it was just holding it in, just like I couldn't get it out, and it was. But dude, it's a memory that I'll never be able to get away.
That's like last year, that bird I shot at our place. And I mean, this might sound bad. It almost sounded like it was the only turkey on the farm, but it wasn't. There was plenty more. But I told Chris, I was like, man, we got to get out there. I'm like, we can kill this bird. I'm like, you do like a half a yelp and he gobbles at you. I'm like, it's a hot bird. So we get linked up. We go out there, and I mean, it pitched right out of the roost, came to the deck. I mean, it didn't even gobble that day. It just did a tree yelp.
No, that was it.
And did a gobbler yelp. And I mean, it didn't gobble once. We kind of looked at each other like, that's him. And he come walking up, and it was one of those things that he wasn't going anywhere. So Chris had his phone out, and he was just filming him, and it's just walking around the, the hen decoy.
Yeah, he put on a show. We just let him hang out.
Yeah, it was. And it was one of those moments we shot him, and we just gave us that holy shit look at each other. I mean, it was just awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
either he could have shot or I could have shot it. It felt like whoever shot it. It was just awesome, like you said.
And the way you're describing it, like you paused that half a second, like that's what I'm talking about. It's just like you can't, unless it happens, like you don't know that feeling of like it happened. Like that's the only, like you're saying, it happened, dude. Like there's no way.
You look at each other like,
holy
finally,
shit, holy shit, it happened.
Yeah.
dude, I can't wait for like deer season to come by. When I finally smash a doe and you're videotaping it, I'm gonna be super excited because then it's gonna be like, oh, well, that's cool. And then like a couple days later, I'm gonna go videotape Levi, and he's be like, oh, this is just only like my 180 come walking through, boom, and then like I'm gonna have a moment to where it's gonna be great because I'm enjoying it with my friend. He's gonna have a great moment because he's gonna have a massive wall hanger.
right.
Well, knowing our luck with deer hunting, I've been seeing like 50, 60, 70 deer a night, in this field, and we go set up there, and I don't know, we saw a decent amount.
Yeah, like 400 yards away.
Yeah, but every other night before, they were literally right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 2 cell cams on it, and just constantly back and forth, in and out, all afternoon and evening long.
Dude, we were sitting there in this. I mean, and some of them came through exactly where he was saying. I mean, came through, could have absolutely drilled them, but I mean, it was 2 young, I don't know, bucks, does, whatever.
Yep.
And came by, dude. One of them, like I'm like peeking out the window, and I'm like, and it's dark, and I'm like, Levi, like it's still here. And finally, he's like, dude, piss on that deer. He's like, open this door, like it's time to go.
Yeah, I mean,
because
we spent like an extra hour in there.
Yeah, and Levi's like tapping on the blind. He's like trying to make like little small noises, try to get. And I'm like, dude, that deer's not moving. Dude, screw that deer. Open that door. We're going in. So,
I filmed Clark at he wanted it, and it was for TV stuff. And I said, I got this farm I'll take you to. We'll go out there and guarantee you're going to shoot a bird. Guaranteed. Petty farm.
Oh yeah.
Go out there. We call it the turkey ranch, and we set up. We walk right by this tree on the way in. I look at Clark. I'm like, right there. And there's just birds everywhere roosted in this tree. I mean, they're everywhere on this place. We go down another 100 yards, pop a tent up around the corner. Birds come out of the roost. Here they all come. Clark's bow hunting. And I'm videoing this whole thing. And it all goes down. Decaps a bird. Badass hunt. Get done. We're all high-fiving, man, that was awesome, He's like, man, you want to just check some of this footage out? I'm like, yeah. I said, let's check it out. He's like, dude, it's going to be awesome. Clark goes back to check the footage. He's like, did you?
It's the red button right there that you didn't push.
Hit that button?
yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I shut it off. I remember shutting it off. He goes, no, you turned it on when you thought you were shutting it off. Oh, yeah. I never hit record.
Dude, I've done that before to where somehow like I've turned it on, especially like a GoPro. Like I've turned it on and think it's off. So I got like 15 minutes of it like being in my bag, me setting it up.
Yeah.
And then when I go through to turn it on, turn record, I actually turn
it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why 100% like you have. Dude, I've just on my monitor here, dude. I've checked that red circle probably about 40 times
to make sure
it's on, dude. Because dude, I bet you felt about this big.
I was like, man, I felt horrible. And Clark's like, who cares, man? It's still an awesome hunt.
Well, yeah, but
I was like, but it would have been some awesome video. I mean, it was killer video.
Sounds like we need to send you and my dad to camera school. My dad did that to me a couple years ago. Dude, one of the most beautiful mornings. Sun coming up, foggier than hell, and this bird follows this hen out of the fog right to us. I mean, he just appears out of nowhere, comes right to us. I shoot him at 15 yards. He had footage of the whole thing up to 15 yards, and then for some reason he was still recording, but he just was watching with his eyes and not the viewfinder, and everything went to hell. I mean, awesome hunt, bird's dead, but
Right.
yeah, Dad screwed up.
Yeah, the video thing for me, a little too much excitement, get wound up. When I was filming for Elite in New Mexico on an elk hunt, 300 incher, this dude I was filming ends up shooting it, and of course, once the shot's done, you stay on the animal, follow it, don't celebrate once they. I freaked out. Been out there for 8 or 9 days, and I was like, "You fucking smoked that motherfucker!" Didn't even follow the animal. I'm screaming like crazy, and then we got back to the lodge that night, and Pete Crawford's like, "Chris, do you realize how bad you messed up this footage on that elk?" And I'm like, "Pretty bad." And he's like, "Yeah." He said, "You can't do that." And I was like, "I know." I said my excitement got in the way, but I went nuts. I mean, went crazy. And he's like, "Yeah, that pretty much ruined the whole footage at the end." He's like, I said, "Well, can't you just edit it out?" "Well, we can," but he's like, "For one, you never even filmed the animal running off." But you know how that goes. You get too much in the moment.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely something where you gotta like sidestep yourself like from the hunt and be like, hey, if we want something good out of this, like,
I'm doing a job here.
I need to focus
think,
up.
I think now I'd be a lot better at it compared to, years ago. I think I'd be way better at staying focused in the moment, but
I wouldn't.
I know you would.
Dude, it's tough.
Oh. It's really, really hard. Like, that's why, like, I was going back, like, when Levi killed that bird, like, I was holding it all inside. Like, I wanted to get up, do dog pile, grab that bird and start, woo, but you just, you're like, I got to, like you said, like, I got a job to do.
You got to hold it together. Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, I mean, it's one of those things to where, I mean, that's the fun part. That's the cool stuff
Yeah.
about it.
That's what we're out there to do.
If
We're
you
out
can
there.
go through and at least like have the brain thought process of, I take this camera, if I set it here and keep it recorded and we stay in front of it, dude, I'll tackle that dude, give him a noogie,
Right. Yeah.
wedgie, whatever. Like let's get all like get that.
Yeah,
get
get all
good
that
stuff.
on video
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's about. It's about, the excitement you get when you harvest an animal or, your buddy harvests. It's just, that's what it's about, I think.
It's like on Friday when I hunted, it was such a cool hunt. And I'm like, a lot of times, we'll go together.
Yeah.
Somebody ain't got a tag, will go with me or I'll go with them. But they're by myself. And at the end of it, I was like, man, I wish I would have had somebody with me. I mean,
Share
it
the
was
moment.
such a cool
Yeah.
hunt.
Oh, dude,
like,
absolutely.
and I'm like, man, it was still awesome, but it'd been cool to have somebody with me. And then they might have been able to chase that son of a bitch down and caught him. So.
Or at least been like, hey, he went that way.
Hey, your turkey just got
Yeah, your turkey's walking away from you.
I'm going to sit here and rest because I was just in the fetal position trying to kill this bird for about an hour and 45 minutes.
So,
Oh, man.
but I'm gonna have to cut this off, boys.
Yep.
Hard to
Yep.
believe, but we're knocking the door about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I know you get the four of us together. It was gonna be a while.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us.
Oh no,
Thank you
dude,
so
we're gonna
much.
do this
Appreciate it.
over and over. We're gonna
Yeah.
do this more and more, most definitely. It's,
sure.
I know we enjoy it, and I guess if people out there don't enjoy it, whatever, they can change the station. So,
That's right.
but no, but again, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bret, for showing up. I mean, we're gonna, like I said, sign this off. So if you're listening to this, go back, listen to our other episodes, check me and Levi out, see what we got going on. Hopefully, Chris and Bret will be nice enough to come back and be on here with us again, which I'm sure they will because I keep feeding them beer. So, but once again, thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next one.